Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Board Gamers. My name is Dave,
And I'm Dirk.
and today we're going to do our 5 deck ideas for the upcoming Hercules Hero. So Hercules is coming in February along with Wonder Man, and Hercules is the last hero in the Civil War wave. And so the first, both I came up with 2 decks and Dirk came up with 2 decks, and then the first deck will be modifying what we know the precon, which not a lot, but I
Yeah, we kind of know some of his cards. Well, I think we've only seen a couple of cards that weren't part of his kit.
yeah, only a.
So,
But first, let's review what Hercules can do. So in Alter Ego, he is got a recovery of 4, hand size 6, 14 hit points. So he's part of the 14 plus club. He is Olympus traded. Hercules begins the game with a labor deck and a gift deck. We'll go over that. And then we have the new labors of Hercules as an action. If there's no labor card in play, reveal the top card of the labor deck.
yeah, and that is on his alter ego side, so it looks like you do have to be an alter ego to do that.
Yes.
All right, so in his hero form, Hercules thwarts for 1, he attacks for 3, and has a defensive 2. He becomes an Avenger when he flips over, and he retains Olympus, and he has Atonement. So as a response, after a labor card is added to the victory display, you can put the top card of the gift deck into play, and you'll get to Ready Hercules, and you can flip to alter ego form if you choose, and you can do this once per phase. So if you happen to clear more than one labor, you'll only get to flip one gifts. So I would think that you would only want to do one labor a turn, probably.
And then you can flip to
Yeah,
get the second one set up.
yeah,
And he only has a hand size of 4 when he's a hero.
yes, that is important.
Okay. So yeah, so you've got a labor deck and a gift deck. They both have 3 cards. When you shuffle them, and then you face down, and then you flip the top card of the labor deck. So one of the cards here is Defeat the Hydra. It's a labor, victory 0. Attached minion gets +6 hit points and gains the elite trait. Attached minion cannot take damage except from Hercules attacks. When revealed, find a non-elite minion with at least 6 printed hit points, reveal it, heal all damage from it, and attach this card to it. Now, the article mentioned that in his Nemesis set, there is a non-elite minion that would qualify. So if for some reason the encounter deck only has elite minions or there are no minions, you're not, out of luck. Because with the find keyword, you search the deck, discard pile, and the set aside area.
Yeah,
So,
everything except for the victory display.
and if someone has a card handed, as a face down encounter card, you don't search people's face down encounter card.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so Defeat the Hydra is the first of the 3
Now,
labors.
what I think is kind of interesting about that is you find the minion, you reveal it, and then you heal all damage from it. What minions come in? Do we have minions that come in damaged,
Oh
or is
yeah,
that, or does that indicate that if the only one that exists is the one on the table, if you just heal that one, if that's
if
but
you
I
could
mean
find. Yeah,
that's the only thing I could think of.
I'd have to double check the find. I didn't think you can get one that's out of that's already in play, but maybe.
I'm not sure why else you would heal it.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I'd have to look over the find rules again, I guess.
all right.
All right.
Then he's got Neiman's Lion Skin. So this is an upgrade. It is one of the gifts. It's an artifact, a permanent. No casting cost. But Hercules gets +2 hit points and gains steady. And as a response, after this card enters play, you draw 4 cards. So it is definitely a gift because not only are you getting steady and 2 hit points, but you're getting 4 cards.
Right.
So
Yeah, when it first enters play. Yeah, and then it stays out. So now he has 16 hit points,
yes,
and he's steady, so which is nice. But you don't know what order you're going to get the gifts, or for that matter, you don't know the order of the labors you're going to get either.
correct.
All right, so then we have Embody Pathos. So labor, victory 0. Attached side scheme gains assault. Threat cannot be removed from attached scheme except by Hercules thwarts. When revealed, find an encounter side scheme that is not in play and reveal it. Oh, so here it specifically says that it's not in play. So maybe you can choose a minion that was in play. Um, and reveal it, treating its per player on it as 1, and attach this card to it and place 6 additional threat on it.
Okay, so basically, it just he gets a personal side scheme similar to the one that Cable has.
Yeah, except for it's from the encounter deck,
Yeah.
obviously.
All right, then we've got Protect Humanity. So this is this labor is an obligation. It has 3 labor counters on it and victory 0. So whenever you reveal it, you're going to find Amadeus Cho and put him into play. And then, as a forced interrupt, whenever the villain would attack Hercules, you'll choose one of your allies, and the villain attacks that ally instead. After that ally or after that attack resolves, if Hercules defended, then you get to remove a counter from it. So if you choose not to defend and let the villain or let the minion die, he doesn't. It does not advance his labor.
Right.
So you do have to actually protect for them.
Right. And so you got to, yeah, so you're going to have to defend 3 times. So, and since the ally is the target, obviously you got to exhaust
Yes.
to defend. All right. Then Amadeus Cho, he costs 2, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 hit points. He's a genius. Forced interrupt. When a minion would attack you, it attacks Amadeus Cho instead. And as an action, you can exhaust Amadeus Cho and draw a card. So yeah, during the villain phase, that's going to be very.
Everybody wants to attack.
Everyone wants to attack Amadeus Cho. He must have said something to piss everybody off.
But I do love the fact that if he actually survives, you get you can exhaust him to draw a card. So I like that.
Yeah.
All right, then we've got the Sword of Peleus. So this is a gift. This gift is an artifact and it's a weapon. It does have permanent and restricted. So you do have to keep that in mind if you're building with other restricted cards. But Hercules gets 1 hit point, plus 1 hit point, and his basic attacks gain piercing. So now if he's got both of those, he's got 17 hit points base. And then again, after this one enters play, you get to draw 4 cards. I think all the gifts do that, actually. I think I remember.
Oh, we'll see. And we have the Shield of Perseus. It's an artifact, gift, permanent. Hercules gets 1 plus 1 hit point and gains retaliate
18
1.
hit points.
And after this card enters play, draw 4 cards. So yeah, so you could only get, I guess, 1. Well, you can only do the 1 ability once per turn. So I guess you can get 2 gifts in 1 turn, but you couldn't get all 3 of them in 1 turn. But yeah, so you're going to get 12 cards.
Total. No, it said do this once per turn as part of the ability, and getting the gift was part of that.
Right.
So if you defeat a second laborer, I'm not sure you get a second gift.
Well, you don't get the free flip back to alter ego, but I mean you could probably.
I don't think that was broken up. I thought that a text applied to the whole thing.
Ready, Hercules, you may flip to alter ego form, limit once per phase. So, but what I'm saying
is it the flip that's limited to once per phase,
yeah,
or the entire action, or the entire response? I'm thinking it's the response that's limited to once per turn.
Maybe. All right. Then we have the Gift of Battle. It costs 3. It's an attack. Reduce the cost to play this card by 1 for each gift card you control. So eventually this card will be free. And as a hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy.
Yeah, dealing 5 damage for free now. That's what I call a return on investment.
But in the beginning, it's before you've gotten your first gift, it's not any better than an uppercut.
Right.
You know, but it does definitely gets better. So it starts off at aspect level and then gets super, super good.
All right, next we've got Son of Zeus. So this is a 2-cost event. It is an Olympus traded event. As a hero action, you can ready Hercules, and then if you have 1 gift, you can ready an identity-specific upgrade you control. If you have 2 gifts, you can also gain a tough status, and if you have all 3 gifts, you get to draw a card as well.
Right. So for cost of 2. Now,
yeah, this one doesn't have cost reduction on it.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, the article, the identity specific upgrades were just like when you defend and stuff. So I'm assuming he's got other upgrades that they haven't shown in the article yet. But when you get 2 gifts, getting a tough status, you know, for the cost of 2, that's pretty good. And then, of course, when you have all 3, you get a tough status and you draw a card.
Yeah, I don't. We'll see him here in a minute, but I don't remember the gifts being anything like super spectacular.
I mean the upgrades.
The upgrades, yeah. I mean, well, I don't know what
the ones that they've shown. I mean,
they
exhaust during the villain.
Yeah, which is why you have the ability to ready the
Right.
upgrade here. But yeah, so I don't. But it's the fact that I mean, this cost reduction or getting each gift you get makes other cards you have better, and I love that.
Right. And then also something like, if you have the villain attack you during the hero phase, like toe to toe or something like that.
Yeah, and I love how they've taken it to where, like, unlike other characters who have an extra deck that comes with them or whatever, his is actually something else he has to do. He has to do these if he wants to get the bonuses.
Yeah, but it kind of reminds me of like Ironheart's suit.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like he kind of starts a little weak, but then he gets really good.
I don't know if I don't know if weak is
Well,
what
well, no. He's
a weaker version.
yeah. I mean, 5 damage for a cost of 3
Yeah.
when a swinging web kick.
Yeah, when you've only got a 4-hand deck
Yeah,
or a 4-hand, a 4-card hand.
right. But
Sorry.
like swinging web kick does 8 damage, and
Yeah.
this only does 5. All right, so then we got so here's one of the upgrades. So we have the Gauntlet of Hercules, a 0 cost upgrade. Here on up, when Hercules defends against an attack, exhausts the gauntlets. Hercules gains retaliate 1 for this attack for each gift card you control. So this doesn't help with Son of Zeus at all.
Okay, then we've got Hercules Helm. So this is a 0 cost upgrade. It is Olympus armor. And as a hero interrupt, its defense, whenever the villain attacks, you can exhaust this to reduce the amount of damage this attack deals by 1.
Right. And again, this is a defense
Yes.
upgrade. That's what I was talking about. The ones in the article are pretty much defense upgrades. This one is the Lion of Olympus. It's a 0 cost upgrade, temporary, so this goes away at the end of the round. Your hero gets +1 thwart, +1 attack, and +1 defense. So this one you don't even exhaust.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that it gives them 1 of everything. So there are definite ways to take advantage of that.
All right. And then he comes in leadership. So we got an ally here, Death Cry. She costs 3, 1 thwart, 3 attack with 2 consequential, 4 hit points. She's an Avenger. Hero interrupt. When Death Cry makes a basic attack, deal your hero 1 damage. Death Cry takes -1 consequential damage for this attack.
All right, so Spider-Ham's going to love her.
Oops, wrong way.
All right, then we've got Avenge Me. So this is a 0 cost upgrade. It is an Avenger specific upgrade because you do have to have the Avenger trait to play it. But you'll attach it to an ally. There is a max of 1 per ally, but when the attached ally is defeated, you get to draw 2 cards. So yeah, Maria's going to love this.
Yeah, I will not be putting this on Yondu. All right, then we got the Avenger Compound, 0 cost support, Avenger location. Play only if your identity has the Avenger trait, max 1 per deck. As an action, you can exhaust Avenger's Compound. Choose, tuck 1 ally from your hand here if there are no allies tucked here, or you can play the ally tucked here as if it were in your hand. Now, this is really nice, the fact that you only have a hand size 4. If you have a kind of a spindier ally, you don't quite have enough to pay for it on the turn you draw it. So like Death Cry, which she costs 3, I think. Yeah. So she costs 3. So that's like your entire hand, assuming you don't have double resources in your hand. So it might be nice to have that 4th card when you want to play Death Cry.
Yeah, the other place that this works really nice though is if you have an ally that has a specific purpose, like say if you're playing aggression and you've got
Sunfire?
Sunbeam, yeah, Sunfire. Sunbeam. If you've got Sunfire and you want to, but you know that there's an upgrade or an attachment to the villain you want to save him for, you can put him under that as well. So,
yeah. Dang it. All right. Oh, it's cut off because of this. So just give me a second here. All right, so then we have a player side scheme, call for backup. It costs 1, victory 0. When defeated, each player may search their deck and discard pile for an ally and put it into play. And it starts with 3 threat. Now, we've seen this card before, but, now we have new Hercules art. So that's pretty cool.
All right, then we've got Thor. So Thor is a 4 cost ally. He is an Asgard Avenger. He thwarts for 3. He attacks for 3. Takes 2 consequential when he attacks, and he's got 4 hit points. And as a force response, after he makes a basic thwart, you can discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you discard a minion and put that minion into play, engage with you.
Okay. And then the final card is Ancient Rivalry. It's a 1-cost event. Asgard Olympus. This is the team up with Hercules and Thor. Max 1 per deck. Search your discard pile for an identity specific upgrade and add it to your hand. And then you get to ready Hercules and Thor.
Yeah, so now we've got a Thor in aggression, we've got a Thor in leadership now with Hercules, and we have the Thor hero. So you've got a few different Thors that you can play with.
Okay, and then you can see this is 20 of 23. The next three was a modular set that it comes with, but we're not going to go over that in this video. But okay, so for deck 1 is modifying what we know of the precon. Now, since we don't know a lot, the only thing I kind of thought of is based on seeing what the cards. So we've got grabbing a minion or grabbing an ally. Oops. And then Death Cry. I kind of was thinking, and Thor, I was kind of thinking Avenger Swarm. So that's what these cards are for. So first, and I didn't pull a bunch of Avengers. So if you want to see a bunch of Avengers, we have an Avenger video. I just brought Stinger here because this increases the number of allies you can have. So Stinger costs 1. She's 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 hit points. She's an Avenger. Play only if your identity has the Avenger trait. Stinger does not count against your ally limit. Oops, go on. Then we got lead from the front. It costs 2. Choose a player. Each character that player controls gets +1 thwart and +1 attack until the end of the phase. I thought a morale boost because he's going to be using his basic abilities, I think, a lot. 1-cost event. Choose a hero. Until the end of the round, that hero gets +1 thwart, +1 attack, and +1 defense.
And if you add that to the upgrade that he's already got, then he's got at least two to each added there till the end of the turn.
Then for the team card, I grab Mighty Avengers, costs 3. Play under any player's control, max 1 team card per player. If each of your characters has the Avenger trait, each ally you control gets +1 thwart and +1 attack. Again, this is part of the ally swarm.
Now, and another thing to note with that is you've got honorary Avengers. So if you had an ally you wanted to play and keep around, you could always play that on them if they're not an Avenger so that they still fit the scheme.
Right. All right, so then we got strength and numbers here. It's an action, exhaust any number of allies you control to draw a card for each ally exhausted this way, especially with a hand size of 4. That's pretty nice. This is a card Dirk's not familiar with. It's called Team Training. It costs 2. It's a condition, play under any player's control, max 1 per phase. Each ally control gets +1 hit point. See, so Maria could last longer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want Maria to actually stick around longer, make it harder to get rid of her.
All right.
You'd think I hate that character, but that's my favorite card.
Kill her so often. Then we have Teamwork. It's a 0-cost event. When you use your basic thwart power or basic attack power, exhaust an ally you control, add the ally's matching power to your hero's power for this use. Part of the ally swarming here is the Triskelion, which costs 1. Increase your ally limit by 1. We got the Avengers Tower here. If each of your allies has the Avenger trait, increase your ally limit by 1.
So you can have 5 of them out now.
All right, and you can exhaust, and 6 with Stinger. Yep. Exhaust Avengers Tower, reduce the cost of the next Avenger ally played this phase by 1. Since you're going to be playing a lot of Avengers, we got Team Building Exercise, costs 2. Exhaust Team Building Exercise, play a card from your hand that shares a trait with your hero, reducing its resource cost by 1. And I just figured more hit points is probably good.
Yeah, because 18's not enough. You got to clear 20.
Yeah, so this will give them to 21. On Endurance, play on any player's control. You get +3 hit points. So that was deck 1.
All right, so deck 2 we've got here is a Justice deck. And so one of the things...
A lot of cards.
Yeah, I do. One of the things I was kind of looking at here is Hercules has a 1 thwart. So that is by far the weakest of his traits. And Even in the events, I did not see a whole lot that gave him additional thwart. So I thought that let's see what we can do here, and to give him help thwarting. So the very first thing I thought right off the top of my head, we're doing justice. Let's throw Jessica in here because that way, if you start getting a few side schemes, she can help out with that. While he's dealing with his side scheme on his trial, she can deal with the other ones. Plus, it'll actually boost her while it's out. So that was the first one I thought of there.
What she does?
Oh, sorry. Jessica, so she's a 3-cost ally. She's a defender with 3 hit points. She thwarts for 1 and attacks for 2, but she gets +1 thwart for each side scheme in play. All right. The next one we got here is Manifold. So Manifold is a 3-cost ally. He thwarts for 2. He attacks for 1. He's an Avenger and Wakanda traded, and he's got 2 hit points. But what I like about him is after he enters play, you can choose a player. You're going to choose yourself, almost certainly. But that player searches their deck and discard pile for a player's side scheme, and they add it to their hand. So he's got, you could actually use some of the side schemes to get things out. Now, I didn't pick a specific side scheme, but he gets to put one in for free when he does this, and there are a couple of the basic ones that work really well for him. I don't think they're in there. Did I put them in there?
Nope.
Nope, I did not. But we'll show them. They'll show up in my last deck. I do know they're in that. Then we've got Professor X. So Professor X is a 3-cost ally. He is Psionic X-Men traded. He's got 3 hit points. He thwarts for 3, attacks for 0. But as a forced response, after he enters play, you could choose. You choose one. You can either confuse the villain, stun a minion, or ready an X-Men character. And since you're not an X-Men, and I don't have any X-Men characters other than Professor X in this deck, he's basically probably going to come out and he's going to stun, which will also help, or no, not stun. He's going to confuse the villain if he can, so that will help with the thwarting as well. But then, of course, if he's still around at the end of the villain phase, then you'll discard him. But that thwart for 3 and confuse, that's why he's in there. We've got Quake. She's an inexpensive ally here. She costs 2. She's an Avenger Shield, and she has 2 hit points. She thwarts for 1, attacks for 2. But as a response, after a minion schemes, you can exhaust her to deal 2 damage to that minion. So if you do have minions scheming on you, she can kind of help get rid of them, or you can use her for a chump blocker because she's very inexpensive. And then the last ally we've got here is Yellow Jacket. So he's a 3-cost ally. He thwarts for 2. He attacks for 2. He takes 2 consequential in each of those. He is an Avenger, and he has 3 hit points. And you do have to be Avenger traded to play him, which you are. But after he enters play, you search the top 5 cards of your deck for a upgrade, and you add that to your hand. He's got a lot of the upgrades, and especially the one upgrade I forget what it's called, but it's the one that gives you +1 to each of your traits until the end of the phase, and then it's temporary, so it goes away. The next one, the Lion of Olympus. So this is probably going to be one of my primary targets if I've already got my other upgrades out. But you can use it for any of his upgrades, so it's really situational. You get whichever one you need out. But even throughout later in the game, you'll still be able to use a Yellow Jacket to try to dig for this one. So I thought that was a really good one for him.
So that's the upgrade version of Kalu and Brother Voodoo.
Yes. Yeah, but what I love about that is he is in basic, so anybody can use him as long as they're an Avenger.
Yeah.
All right, then again, we need help thwarting, so let's go one of the bigger thwarting cards out there is Crisis Averted. So it's a 3-cost event, thwart event. You can, as a hero action, remove 6 threat from the main scheme. It does have to be the main scheme, can't do a side scheme with it. But then if you paid for this card using a mental resource, then that threat gains, or that threat ignores the crisis icons. So if you don't have a crisis icon out there, you don't need to worry about that. But if you do, try to make sure you can play that so you don't have to worry about it. We've also got Great Responsibility. So this is a 0-cost event. As a hero interrupt, whenever any amount of threat would be placed on a scheme, you take it as damage instead. Well, Hercules has a lot of hit points, and we're trying to do some things to hopefully get him up over 20, so that way he can actually help and take a little bit of the damage or the thwart as damage to last a little longer.
He starts with 14.
He starts with 14.
Then all his gifts give him.
Yeah, it gives him a total of 4 more.
Yeah.
All right, next we've got Running Interference. So this is a 2-cost thwart event. You do have to be Avenger traded to play this one, but you remove 2 threat from the main scheme, and then you remove an additional threat from the main scheme up to a maximum of 3, where X is equal to the villain's stage number. Again, especially if you're playing expert, you're going to get basically a minimum of 4 off of this for a cost of 2. And potentially 5, depending on whenever this comes out. So I figured this was a good one to give him that extra boost in threat that he's going to kind of need. We also have Stealth Strike here, so this is a 3-cost attack event. As a hero action, you deal 4 damage to an enemy, and if that enemy is defeated by the attack, you get to remove 2 threat from a scheme. So you get to take advantage of your increased attack to remove threat instead. We've got Upside the Head, so this is a 1-cost spell event. As a hero skill event. Sorry, yeah, spell. He doesn't have spells. This is his version of a spell, I guess. But after your hero makes a basic attack and damages an enemy, you can confuse that enemy, and if that enemy is already confused, you stun it instead. So this is a great one to. You're probably going to kill most of the minions that are coming out because he's got a higher attack, but this is a good one. You can then confuse or stun the villain with this. We've also got, since he starts with 14 hit points, we've got Limitless Stamina. This is a 1-cost event. It's a stamina. It is a superpower. You do have to start with 14 hit points to play this, but as a hero action, you can ready your hero.
Yeah, no, so, I did forget. This would be in the deck 1 as well.
Yeah, I would probably put this in any of his decks. Yeah. All right. Then we've got Determination. So this is one I don't normally use a whole lot, but this resource, it just provides a single wild resource. There's max of 1 per deck, but after you spin this to do anything, you get to remove 1 threat from the main scheme. So it's just a little bit way to kind of help out with the scheming just a little bit.
I actually kind of like the other one where it does +1 additional threat.
Yeah, but you do have to be thwarting for that one, and this one works regardless of how you spend it. That's why I put it in there.
And then he's got a huge hand size, so he definitely can afford.
Yeah. So now this one is I'm not sure yet. It would kind of depend. I would want to see the rest of his kit and possibly, if he's able to generate resources in additional ways with a hand size of 4, I might not put it. But I don't use the big helicarriers a lot. This is one, if I can figure out a way to make him afford this, I might use it with him because of the fact that he does need the help forwarding. But it's a 6-cost shield vehicle support, the Douglas. As an action, you can exhaust the Douglas. Oh, it comes in with 3 operations counters, but you can exhaust it, spend 1 of those counters, and you remove 2 threat from each scheme, ignoring crisis icons. So, I mean, this is not a bad card, but it's a little too pricey for me to play in most decks. It's even more pricey for Hercules because of his limited hand size, but I can see him really trying to see if he can get this one out in play.
Yeah, I have yet to really use the helicarriers outside of Maria because of the cost. Yeah. Well, the cost and the fact that it's only got so many uses. I mean, nice thing with Maria is you can leave it out forever as long as you keep putting counters on it.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a really good deal for Maria. I'm not quite convinced for the Douglas and the Bellerophon in particular outside of Maria.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the fringe use cases I could see trying it. Yeah. Now, again, because of it's even harder for him to pay for it, and it's very expensive with, like Dave said, the limited uses. I don't know. I'm not completely convinced, but this is one I'm probably going to at least try it and see how it does. Then we've got, of course, another expensive card for him. It's the Avenger Mansion, but this is a 4-cost support. It's an Avenger location. So it is Avenger traded, so this can help with it. We'll see that in a second, but max 1 per player. And as an action, you can exhaust this to choose a player, and that player draws a card. So yeah, it costs a little bit more to get it out, but then you can get additional cards with it. Again, he is an Avenger, so he can play the Quinn Carrier. This is a 3-cost support. It's an Avenger vehicle. You do have to be Avenger traded, but you can exhaust this to generate a wild resource. And then we've got Team Building Exercise, and I actually have 2 copies of this because I can see with his limited hand size that he could use help, and there are quite a few Avenger traded and Olympus traded cards with everything that he's got. So I could see having two of these in the deck. We've got endurance, of course, to give him an additional three hit points. It's a one cost upgrade, but and played under any player's control, max one per player. But I could see this to help him get those extra hit points so that he can take the damage. Ready to Rumble is a one cost condition upgrade. Played under any player's control, one per player maximum. But after you change form, you can discard this card and ready your hero. So what I like is this can just sit out there until you're ready to use it. So I would probably only put one in the deck, but then that's a way to, if you have to heal or something or do something else whenever you're in alter ego, you come back up and you can still take an action. We've got tenacity in here, so two cost upgrade. It's condition, and as a hero action, you can spend a strength resource and discard this card to ready your hero. So, because of his high attack, you're probably going to want to try to see if you can attack with him, activate him multiple times, or you can defend with him and then still turn around and activate with him. And then we've also got Unshakable. So then, of course, what we had. Oh, I don't have it here. Yeah. Oh, this is the one. Yeah. So this one is a one cost upgrade. It's a superpower condition. You do have to have at least 14 printed hit points to play this. But your identity gains steady. Now, he does get steady here from the lion skin, like David's got pulled up. But this is one that it's a one cost card, so it's pretty inexpensive to play. You can get that out because you don't know what order your gifts are going to come out, and you'll still have to deal with the labors before you can get them. So you could potentially get this out really early to give yourself steady so that Stuns and Confuse won't affect you as much. And then it also is great bait for something like what is the oh shoot, I know the card. I'm trying to think of the card right now.
Caught off guard.
Caught off guard. Yeah, cards like caught off guard that force you to discard something. So you can use this to discard instead. And then again, it costs one. You can play it back out as protection again later. And that's why, if you notice, I did not put a front organization in this deck because I figure limited hand size. This one, even though it cost one to play it and it's not free like the other one, this one is you can be useful when where cut off guard where the front off support has a more limited use. So I thought this one would probably be a better fit in his deck specifically.
I probably it would I probably wouldn't include it because you're going to get this lion skin, but if I have room in the deck, maybe I would put Unshakable in. But
Yeah, and if you're one of the groups that actually knows who you're going to be fighting, and what modules beforehand, you might not even need it at all. Then you would definitely lay it out. But we don't we play that we don't know what it's going to be in advance, in most cases. So then that way, that's why I figure that's a good include for him. And like I said, and it's always one similar to the Douglas that if it doesn't seem like a good fit for the deck, that'll be one of the first candidates to come out. But that's what I had.
all right.
Justice.
So for deck 3, I came up with aggression, and I tried to come up with some stuff that I thought supported some of the various cards that we've seen. So one of the cards that we saw.
I think it was the next card too. Nope, not the next one.
No. Okay, so Ancient Rivalries. Yeah, so this is a team up with Thor. So I've got, for aggression, we actually have two Thors. Because it does say Thor, it does not say Odinson. So I don't see any reason why you couldn't have Jane Foster in your deck. So she costs 4, 1 thwart, 2 attack, 4 hit points, Asgard Avenger. After you play Thor from your hand, deal 2 damage to the villain, 3 damage instead if you paid for this card using a strength resource. So that Ancient Rivalry would cook that. But you might as well have Thor Odinson as well. So you've got 2 chances for Ancient Rivalry to kick in. Costs 3, 1 thwart, 3 attack with 2 consequential, 3 hit points. He comes in tough. And then when Thor attacks a minion engaged with a player, you can spend an energy resource, resolve the attack against each minion engaged with that player in the order of your choice. Now, of course, you can't do damage to your... Oops. Yeah. You can't do damage to your defeat the Hydra labor because it says cannot take damage except from Hercules attack. So you use Thor's ability, you will not be able to damage whoever the Hydra is.
Yeah. So now one thing I did actually like about it though, that, you know, with Dave's little combination that he found, is if you actually have a Thor player, so but the Thor player happens to be down, if you've got Jane Foster out, you can actually still use this. So it is less of a burden than it would be in some other decks.
Yeah.
In most other decks.
If you team up with a Thor player, you just have, and you're playing aggression, you just have Jane Foster. The next little concept I got is working with one of the gifts, which is the Sword of Peleus, which is a weapon. So you can have firepower here. Now, I'd probably put a couple more weapons in if I'm going to concentrate on firepower. It costs 1. Hero action, exhaust up to 3 weapon upgrades you control. For each upgrade exhausted this way, choose an enemy and deal 3 damage to it. The attack gains range. The Sword of Peleus is a weapon, and it does matter if it's exhausted or not.
I love that.
You still get the piercing. You still get the +1 hit point, whether the sword is exhausted or not. So we also have Fusillade here, which costs 2. It's an attack. Hero action attack. Exhaust a weapon upgrade you control. Again, the sword. Deal 5 damage to an enemy. And since we're still talking about the sword, we got Mean Swing here. Hero Interrupt. When your hero makes a basic attack, you can exhaust a weapon upgrade on your hero. And your hero gets +3 to the attack. And this also still qualifies for dealing with the Hydra because
it's a basic attack. It adds to it.
Yeah, it adds to his basic attack. So, and this card would also help to get rid of the Hydra as well. Savage Strike. It costs 3. It's a skill. Hero Interrupt. When you make a basic attack, you get +6 for this attack, and the attack gains piercing. So he has a basic attack of 3. You got the Savage Strike here of 6. That's 9.
Yeah, and all the other card requires is a 6, and there's not a whole lot of
+6. It also gets +6 hit points.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. +6 hit points, but not a lot of non-elite minions are that terribly big. There are some, but not a lot.
I mean, it might have 4 hit points to start with, or 5 or something, and so then it's got 10 or 11 health. Maybe at worst. But you get like a Hydra regular. He only has 2 hit points originally, so now he's 8. Then we got Skill Strike. This is just again to help defeat the Hydra and just to beef up his attacks. It costs 0. When your hero makes a basic attack, it gets +2 for that attack. All right. The other card that I was looking at was this one here, the Protect Humanity labor. So you have to trigger 3 attacks from the villain. And so you're either waiting through 3 villain phases, or you could try to speed that process up a little bit. And that's where this card comes into play. Toe-to-toe. It costs 1. Hero action attack. Choose an enemy. That enemy attacks you. Deal 5 damage to that enemy. So you would play toe-to-toe. You trigger the villain, which, of course, the villain is going to attack the ally instead, even though you're telling it to attack you. This would attack the ally instead, and then you defend, and now you can mark one of the labor counters off. Again, to kind of increase his basic, we've got Aggressive Conditioning here. Costs 3. Play on any player's control. Max 1 per player. You get +3 hit points, and your hero gets +1 attack. Another card I thought of was Battle Fury. After your hero attacks and defeats a minion, deal 1 damage to your hero and discard Battle Fury. Ready your hero. This would be kind of like towards the Hydra, but and then later on in the game, just minions in general, since that's your job, it's aggression. Combat Training here. Costs 2. Play on any player's control. Max 1 per player. Your hero gets +1 attack. Oh, I did forget a Hall of Heroes. That would be another card that would be good. Put that on there. Every time you defeat a minion, every time Hercules defeats a minion, so it can't do it with allies, but then you get a glory counter, and then you can go into alter ego, spin 3 glory counters, and draw 3 cards.
Yeah, and that's a 2-cost upgrade.
Yep, 2-cost support.
Oh, support.
All right.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is support.
And he's part of the 14+ club. So we got limited stamina here. Cost 1. play only if your identity has at least 14 hit points. Ready your hero.
Yeah, and I would probably actually consider putting 3 of those in the deck if it fit.
Oh, I always put 3 limitless staminas in. Avenger's Tower here because he is an Avenger. So I'm not really going Avenger Swarm on this, but I do have 2 Avengers.
Yeah, but if you look at the 2 Thors, they're
Yeah.
both Avengers, and so is Cho. So there you've got 3
Yeah.
Avengers right there. So
And they're not cheap either. I mean, they're like 3 and 4. I think Amadeus might cost 2, but what does he cost?
no,
Yeah,
you just got to have your labor.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, so if each of your allies has the Avenger trait, increase your ally limit by 1. Aggression has a lot of really good Avengers. So I tend I like Spider Girl. She's a great Avenger. Hulk, I usually use him in a lot of my Avenger decks.
Yeah, I would probably definitely put Hulk in here because of the big beefiness of him or whatever. You could actually let some minions hit or some villains hit him if you've got the labor out, and you don't necessarily need to worry about it because
Yeah.
he can take that hit in some cases.
Yeah, but yeah, so the Avenger Tower, so increase the ally limit, and then you can exhaust Avenger Tower to reduce the cost of the next Avenger ally played by 1.
Yeah, and of course there's also basic Avengers you can put in too.
Of course, like War Machine or something.
Yep.
Quinn Carrier, again, 3 cost support. Play only if your identity has the Avenger trait. Exhaust the Quinn Carrier, generate a wild resource. Again, I'm not going as Avenger heavy as I was with the leadership deck, but we still got quite a few Avengers, so team building exercise would be nice. Plus, this also works with the Olympian cards as well.
There's quite a few of those. So
I don't know if I might put 2 in. It just would depend on how the deck looks.
yeah, I think for me, it would depend on how many Avenger cards I've added. And also, we haven't seen all of his cards yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we've seen all of his Olympus cards, then you got to decide there. But if he's got more to come, then it might actually be,
Yeah.
it might really be worth
Yeah,
it.
and I haven't built out a full deck on this anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I got team building exercise, exhaust team building, and play a card from your hand that shares a trait, reduce the cost by 1. And I want to have as many hit points as possible just because it's fun. So endurance, play under any player's control, max 1 per player. You get plus 3 hit points. All right.
Wait, where's your symbiote suit?
I don't think I'd go that crazy.
What is it? Is he could if you because you think about it, okay, he's got 18 that he can get with his 3 gifts. And then so that then you throw the endurance on him, so there's 21. You throw 9 if you've got other players who are willing to put conditionings on you. So there you're at 30, and then you're at 40 if you throw in the symbiote suit.
Yep.
That boy, he's as big as a villain at that point.
Yep. Anyway, so that was my deck 3 aggression.
Okay, so the next one I have is I'm actually going to do a basic deck, and this one
This time Dirk went hog wild.
Yeah. So with this, it stays fairly close to the traditional basic decks that Dave and I play a lot of, but I have thrown in some new stuff because of either cards that work with him or that he came with that I thought worked well with him. So first thing we're going to do here is Lockjaw. Now, Lockjaw, the reason I like him in basic decks, he's a 4-cost ally with 4 hit points, thwarts for 2 and attacks for 2. He takes 2 consequential each of those. But you can play him from your discard pile during your turn just by paying for his mana cost or his resource cost. So if he's in your discard pile, if you have extra resources at the end of the hand, which can happen a lot with these basic decks, because the point of them is you get as much of your deck out onto the table as permanents as into play as you can, so that you're going through your deck and you're getting to the hero specific cards as frequently as possible. But this is a way that in case you've got extra resources, you can play him. I did add Mockingbird here, which is one I don't normally put in these because I like the fact that as a response, whenever she enters play, she can stun an enemy. So that is one to where, if you start to get a little bit overwhelmed or something, she's a good place. She can help you out with that. Or if you have to exhaust to do the protect humanity, you have to exhaust for that. You don't have a way to unexhaust, so she can stun the villain there. But she costs 3. She is a shield spy with 3 hit points. She thwarts for 1 in the attacks for 1. Next, I've got Nick Fury. He's a 4-cost ally, so he's a little bit spendy, but I think he might be worth it here. He is thwarts for 2, attacks for 2, has 3 hit points. But as a forced response, after he enters play, you can choose to either remove 2 threat from the scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. And at the end of the round, if he's still in play, you discard him. So with this version of Nick, in almost every case, whenever I play him, I'm playing him for the card draw. However, with Hercules having the weaker thwart, I might actually do that 2 threat from him.
And the nice thing with this Avenger compound is Hercules has a hand size of 4, so you may not be able to afford Nick with the cards you have in your hand because you have no double resources.
Right.
So you could store Nick on the Avenger compound because you have to be an Avenger to play the card, but you don't have to put an Avenger on the Avenger's compound. And then next turn you draw 4 cards, and if you don't need them, you've got what you can pay for Nick right there.
Yep.
So that's kind of nice.
And of course, with the basic decks, we're also using Nick Fury Sr. as well. Again, he's a 4-cost ally with 3 hit points, thwarts for 2, attacks for 2. And he has a very similar ability to the other Nick. Where his is a little bit different is whenever he comes into play, your choices are you can remove 3 threats. So that's even more tempting with Hercules here in this case. From a scheme, draw 2 cards, or give a shield character a tough status. We're probably not doing that because the only shield characters we've got in this deck are ones that will go away at the end of the turn anyway, so we're probably not using them. But then...
you can ready Mockingbird.
You could, but no, give her a tough status card with him.
Oh, it gives her a tough. Oh, yeah, it gives her a tough, yeah.
But then at the end of the round, again, if he's still in play, you'll discard him. We've got Professor X, who is the 3rd member of Dave's favorite self-made crew, the Expendables.
Disposables.
Or Disposables. Okay, yeah, all right. The Expendables are actually a group. So the Disposables. But Professor X is a 3-cost ally who has 3 hit points. He thwarts for 3, attacks for 0. But then after he enters play, you can either confuse the villain, stun a minion, or ready an X-Men character. Again, probably not doing it for the X-Men. We're probably in this case doing it for the confuse on the villain if we can. But then he gets to thwart for 3. So that's where he, helps out again with the thwart there.
And again, the nice thing is if the villain is already confused and you don't have any minions, is you could store Professor X on the Avenger compound for a later turn.
Yeah, you can only store 1 ally on the Avenger compound, so you do have to kind of watch that a little bit, and it requires exhausting to either add or remove the ally. So there's a little bit of timing there, so you might kind of maybe, plan that, which ones you're going to use or save that for.
Yeah, but I'm kind of thinking Avenger compound could become an auto-include in any of my Avenger decks from now on. So
yeah,
we'll see. It looks pretty good.
I don't always play a lot of allies. I mean, there are times whenever the only ally I'm going to have is the signature ally, and I'll never even play that one. So
well, definitely Avenger.
No, in the basic
Avenger basics, yeah.
Of course, the new card here, Yellow Jacket. Love this one with him. It's a 3-cost Avenger ally for 3 hit points. Thwarts for 2, attacks for 2, has 2 hit points. You do have to be an Avenger to play him, but remember, he's the one that you can search for the top 5 cards of your deck for an upgrade and add that to your hand whenever he comes into play. And again, we're searching for Hercules' upgrades for that almost certainly. We're going to assess the situation in any of the basic decks that we build here. It's a 0-cost event that you get +1 hand size until the end of your turn, or until the end of the phase as an action. So whenever you draw up your new hand size, you're going to get an additional card for each one of these you've played. But of course, you can always use it as a resource if you need to use it that turn. Limitless stamina, of course, you're a member of the 14 plus club, so you're going to want this 1-cost event. Play only if you have 14 hit points, but you get to ready your hero. Probably putting at least 2 of these, probably 3 if I can fit them in. All right, then we've got build support. So build support, this one is you play, it's a 1-cost player side scheme. It comes in with 3 threat per player. Victory 0, but whenever it's defeated, each player can search their deck and discard pile for a support with a cost of 3 or less and put it into play. And this one actually is in here very specifically for the IPAC, which I've included in this deck. It only costs 1, so you're able to search for this. It's one he cannot normally play because you have to be an X-Force player to play it normally. But this, because you're putting it into play, it ignores those requirements. But you can exhaust it, deal 1 face down a counter card to a player, and that player draws 2 cards. You're probably going to use it for yourself, but you can't give it to somebody else if they need it. And then we've also got superpower training. So this is another player side scheme. It's one cost, three threat per player, victory 0. And whenever it's defeated, each player must search their deck and discard pile for an identity specific upgrade and put it into play. Again, I really like a lot of the Hercules upgrades, especially the one that is only temporary. So that's a great target for that. We've got the Avenger Mansion, price you inform, 4-cost support, but it's an Avenger location, max 1 per player. You can exhaust it and choose a player. That player draws a card. We've also got Crew Quarter, which is a common one I use in a lot of these basic decks because it's a support that stays out into play, so it thins my deck out a little bit. You play it on any player's control, max 1 per player, but as an alter ego action, you can exhaust it and heal 1 damage from an alter ego. So you could heal it on yourself or somebody else if you don't really need it, but you've gone down like to get another labor. You can heal somebody else as long as they are in alter ego. We've got Front Organization. So this is a protection card for you, basically. 0-cost support. It's a location. You play it under any player's control, max 1 per player. But whenever an encounter card effect would force you to discard a card that you control, you can discard this instead of discarding that card. We've got Government Liaison. It's a 2-cost support. It's a shield persona. As a hero action, you can exhaust this to play a shield card from your hand, reducing its cost by 2. You don't have as many shield cards in here as you do in some others, but all of the disposables and Mockingbird are all shield. So I did feel that this had a place in this deck.
Except for Professor X.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's not. He's X-Men. We're going to call him Shield. You've got Helicarrier here. So here's a shield card though. That's a shield location. It's 3-cost support, max 1 per player. You can exhaust this and choose a player. The next card, or you generate a resource for the next card that they play. You've got the Quinn Carrier, so this one does require an Avenger to play, which you are. 3-cost support. It's an Avenger vehicle. You can exhaust it to generate a wild resource. We've got Team Building Exercise. Again, 2 copies of this in the deck. And it's 2-cost support, but as a hero action, exhaust it. And you play a card from your hand that shares a trait with your hero, reducing the cost by 1. Now, one thing to note, since I've got 2 decks that have both 2 of these in there, you cannot use these both on the same card. So you would have to be playing 2 different cards. But again, you got a lot of Avenger, between the Avenger and the Asgard traded cards, you should have plenty in here. We've also got Endurance. It's a 1-cost upgrade, so it'll stay out in play, so it'll thin your deck, but you play it to gain an additional 3 hit points under any player's control, max 1 per player. I've got Ready to Rumble again. It's a 1-cost upgrade that you play under any player's control, 1 per player. I'm probably only going to put 1 of these in the deck again, but after you change form as a hero response, you can discard this card to ready your hero. I've got Tenacity again here. 2-cost upgrade. You spend a strength resource and discard the card as a hero action to ready your hero. And of course, the Unshakable again. Very similar thing to what I said earlier. It's a 1-cost upgrade. It's superpower condition. You do have to have 14 hit points printed on yourself to play this, but it gives you steady. Again, you get the steady from the one gift, but you don't know when you're going to get that, so this is a good one to play out. And again, thins your deck so you can get to your hero cards a little bit faster.
Okay. That was deck 4. So deck 5 is Protection. So this is similar to my deck 3, reacting to a bunch of the cards that we've seen. So the first one is the Protect Humanity labor, which is when the villain would attack you. So I have this card here. I can do this all day. It's a 1-cost event. It's a defense. Hero interrupt. When an enemy attacks, declare your hero as the defender without exhausting them. So now, I mean, you need to jump in to protect Amadeus Cho. So you declare yourself the defender and you don't exhaust. So that's
Yes, yeah, I really love this card for him because of that, so he doesn't have to worry about it.
this one is kind of with the Hydra, but I mean it's just useful for throughout the game too, of course. But so Anticipation, it's a one cost preparation card, max one per player. When you engage a minion, discard this card to ready your hero. So, you're doing the labor. You probably should already be ready, but in case, for some reason you're not, you've got it for the Hydra. But also when a minion shows up during the encounter phase, it's useful for that too. We got Anticipated Attack. Play only if there's a side scheme in the victory display. Now, I didn't grab any side schemes in this deck, but I play with this character, so there's usually one there.
Yeah, it's rare for me not to have at least one in my deck.
But if for some reason there isn't one, I might throw in the protection one that gives everybody a tough, or build support or something
Yeah, I
like
really
that.
like those basic ones.
But it's a hero interrupt defense. When an enemy initiates an attack, give your hero a tough status card. So again, you could do that for like defeat the Hydra or protect humanity. So both of those. All right, and then you have a two defense naturally. So armored vest, play under any player's control, max one per player. Your hero gets plus one defense now. I'm not really doing a perfect defense, but there might be like kind of a perfect defense light involved. But the higher if you're playing protection, why not bump your defense up? You do have to defend for this specific labor, so you are definitely defending it.
Yep.
Through the course of that. Uh, Now you're getting a whole bunch of hit points. So in addition to, throwing in conditions or endurance or whatever. So once you start getting the gifts, your hit point value goes up. So Dauntless is a great card. One cost upgrade. Play under any player's control, max one per player. While your hero's remaining hit points are equal to or greater than your hero's starting hit points, your hero gains Retaliate 1. And on top of it, as an added bonus, this stacks with the shield of Perseus. So now you have a Retaliate 2. So even if all you've received is the shield, towards the beginning of the game, you already have one extra hit point. So as long as you're above the normal 14, you'll have a Retaliate 2 instead of Retaliate 1.
Yeah, and of course in protection, there's another reason to play the symbiote suit.
Yeah. Then we got bait and switch here. The villain attacks you, remove 4 threat from the main scheme. You want to get the villain to attack as often as possible for this protect humanity. So this is a way to force that to happen during the hero phase. And you get to remove a labor counter, and you get to remove 4 threat from the main scheme as an added bonus. Then we got cut both ways. This is a zero cost event. When an enemy attacks you, gain Retaliate 1 until the end of the phase. So now you could have a Retaliate of 2 or 3 if you've got the Dauntless out as well. You want to be ready to use your basic abilities. So I thought of Desperate Defense here. So one cost event. Hero interrupt defense. When your hero defends against an attack, it gets +2 defense for that attack. And if you take no damage from the attack, ready your hero. Defensive conditioning that stacks with armored vest, costs 2. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. You get +3 hit points, and your hero gets another +1 defense. So now, if you have the vest and defensive conditioning, you've got a basic defense of 4, and you now have 17 hit points before you get your first gift. So that definitely helps for Dauntless. Then we got Taunt here. It's a one cost event. The villain attacks you. Other characters cannot defend against this attack. Well, you don't want other characters to defend anyways for protect humanity. And you get to draw 3 cards. So you get to remove a labor and you get to draw 3 cards out of the deal. And this is like Retaliate, but not exactly. Electrostatic armor, cost 1. Put under any player's control, max 1 per player. After you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. So you have Retaliate 3, and you have this 1 damage to the attacking character. So then we got Indomitable. It's a 1 cost upgrade. After your hero defends, discard Indomitable, ready your hero. So again, this is nice for triggering mainly a lot of times, even during the hero phase, when you got taunt and those kind of cards out. So maybe you can clean out protect humanity in one hero phase instead of having to go through a
Yeah,
whole
and I think one
phase.
of the coolest things about this specific card is it doesn't limit you to having only one in play at a time, which I was a little bit surprised with some of the other cards that we've seen.
Yeah. Then we got to, yeah, but you only need to trigger one. But yeah, if you have all three of them out,
Yeah, you just play them out, and that way you can all make sure you always have one.
right. Now, like I said again, I'm not really playing a traditional perfect defense, but I plan on having a defense of four. So unflappable, that's pretty good. If it was a turn with desperate defense, after you defend against an attack and take no damage, exhaust unflappable, draw a card. So just more card draw, especially with his hand size of four. Yeah, he's got 14 hit points, so of course he qualifies for limitless stamina, one cost event. Play only if your identity has at least 14 hit points. Ready your hero. He's an Avenger and he's going to be resource hungry. So the Quinn Carrier costs 3. Play only if your identity has the Avenger trait. Exhaust the Quinn Carrier, generate a wild. Again, he's Avenger and Olympian traded. So team building exercise, maybe 2, I don't know, but at least 1. Exhaust team building exercise. Play a card from your hand that shares a trait with your hero, reducing its resource cost by 1. Now there are not a lot of protection Avenger allies, so this is more for the Olympian trait than anything, but it's still pretty useful. And more hit points. It helps with Dauntless. It's 1 cost endurance. Play on any player's control. Max 1 per player. You get plus 3 hit points. All right. So that was deck 5. So these decks are based on what we know so far from the article. So like we haven't seen his full kit yet. Obviously, there could be some more Hercules specific cards that are part of his kit that will dramatically change our
And
preview.
and again, I'm also sure we're going to see some additional leadership cards and
Oh,
possibly,
sure.
possibly some other basic cards
Yeah, maybe.
to help out. But I really did like that. I think my favorite non-kit card that I saw that they've shown yet was, well, I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. I mean, I really did like that Avenge Me. That's a really fun one,
Yeah.
and I'm definitely going to include that in leadership decks. But
Yeah, when I was talking about
yeah,
my anticipated card, I was thinking this card, I compared it with a Maria recursion,
oh yeah.
because it's like,
Maria gets 3 cards whenever
well, if you
you
have,
recur her.
if you have rapid response
Yep.
outside, for example, then you're getting 3 cards and everyone else is getting 1 card at least. But yeah, and considering how often you can, and if you have,
Can you imagine if you happen to get all 3 of those in your hand at one time? And with Maria out and a couple of rapid responses?
well, and you have a chance.
Oh, wow.
You have a chance of drawing them if you didn't even have all the
Yeah.
rapid responses in your initial hand, because you have a good chance of drawing the rapid
You
responses.
see, and that's the thing. This is kind of, I don't know. I'm torn here now because I was trying to get away from building all the recursion decks because I lean so heavily on those. I mean, it was my favorite deck for the longest time. So I've been kind of forcing myself out of it. And they're just playing more cards. They're coming out with more cards that make me want to go back to it.
Yeah, so I guess from now on, I'm just going to have to play Maria Hero. So we can't do that. Whenever Dirk says, I'm going to play leadership, it's like, okay, I'll play Maria then. And I don't even care what aspect she is.
Oh man, my Nova Maria recursion deck.
Yeah.
Oh, this kind of scary. That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
I
So,
might be able to break my record.
well, but maybe they'll do like what they're doing with the Arkham, and it'll be a new core set, and then I'll say, yeah, no, that's all legacy crap. You can't play that anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe.
And if you want to see more content by us, go ahead and hit that notification bell down there, and you will get alerts whenever we post new videos. All right, see ya.